Hello everyone, and welcome to April 2020. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing well. I hope you are safe and sound, and you are also keeping yourself grounded during this time. Because sometimes it's difficult to keep oneself grounded, especially if you are a sensitive person. And so, this month of April, in this intuitive reading, I would like to do something slightly different. So, in this case, I will draw, as I've done the other times, a card on the spot. So, yeah, I think that gives a little bit more of an ease of a reading. It's a little bit longer, but I hope you don't mind. And I will also draw one card per week, and then one card that could be kind of the general advice of the month. Um, so let's start. Just before before I go ahead, just one quick reminder. I'm having 40% off my sessions, my online sessions. So if any one of you would like to connect, reconnect with the higher self, higher your vibration, um, learn kind of some techniques to stay grounded, my online sessions are 40% off. You can find information on my website. And tomorrow, and I will put that information down there in the description, if any one of you speaks or understands Spanish, that'll be enough. We'll be joining the group of meditators around the world that want to add up to 1 million meditators. I will bring in, I will ask the Hebrew letters to come in at the time of the meditation, and we will do that in a small group of whoever is going to show up. Of course, it's going to be for free, and I will put the link to that in the description as well. It's going to be a teleconference in Zoom at 20:45 Mexico City time. There will be central, central time in the U.S., Central Standard Time in the U.S. Yeah, or 8 hours behind if you are in the center of Europe. Okay, let's go on with the first card for the first week of April 2020. Okay, and yeah, and now we have, oops, sorry, now we have the card of P, or the letter P. Yeah, well, it's no coincidence that actually it's not exactly then, but I think it's going to coincide with Easter, because P is talking always about the resurrection of the. Sorry for this wind. Something just flew. Sorry. P is talking about the resurrection, the body of the resurrection. I think with all the death outside in people that have died, but also people inside that have died. We have died to a certain identity that we had about ourselves. We have died to a certain idea of who we were in the world and how we were leading our lives with the event of this pandemic. And that has changed a lot of things. And Pei is talking about the resurrection of the body, but the body, probably not the physical body, but it's talking about more or less the energetic body. So it's talking about the resurrection after the death, and there's no coincidence also that this following week it's Easter time. So whether you are Catholic or Christian or whatever, you believe in that or not, it doesn't matter, because I think it is a cosmic event. It is a renaissance into a new paradigm. Whether the paradigm will be seen already, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be visible yet, but I do believe that it's going to be already tangible in an energetic level to those who are somehow sensitives. Probably you could feel really that on Easter Sunday you will start feeling that something has changed. probably the energy, or there's more light. Normally that happens a lot because there's really this opening to even more energy. And so that's why, and I'm just gonna digress a bit. That's why I've been always telling, and they have been insisting, also my guides, the letters, and everyone, to really connect with the heart, because the heart is really the way, is a portal to new dimensions, to new ways of being, to disidentify yourself just as a human being, and to realize that you are more than that, that you are a spirit, a divine in nature that is living a human life in this moment. So I invite you, I suggest you spend time in cultivating your connection to your heart, cultivating your unfolding of the heart, to be in silence in the space of the heart, to breathe. And while you breathe, really just put your attention to your chest, to this heart area. Not the heart, the organ, also that, but especially the heart chakra. So it's really in the middle of the chest, and really feel this unfolding. And probably, well, what Pe is talking about is that we will feel this light of resurrection coming into our hearts in a deeper way, because that there has been many death energy, like shedding away, and leaving the planet as well, and fear also rushing through our bodies or energetic system. So we are letting go of a big piece of our identity as a as a species, I would say, even I would dare to say that. So yeah, connect to your heart, try to investigate what is in there, breathe in there, cultivate your connection to that energetic part of yourself, and see what unfolds later. Then we have the second week of April 2020. Okay, very different cards from the ones that we got in Spanish so far. So here we have Gimel, which is an anathem for Miguel, or Miguel in Spanish, and Michael, if you don't know. So Gimel, to me, is talking always about having somehow a guide, a guidance. Whether this guidance is manifested externally by someone, or whether it is the guidance that we find inside ourselves, hence again the heart, because I think that's really a very good barometer, is the heart. So it's really a way to find our ways through life, especially in times where there's no where there's so much information that is also very conflicting, where there's many information that is kind of bathed and born from fear. It is really crucial to find our own guide, our own internal guide. This could be, I would say, that this could be also the hermit in the regular tarot, and but Gimel is talking about that, to having a guide, a guidance system inside, or again, it can be also someone. So sorry, someone that we project, or that we that is manifested for us as a guide, And I think every guide should be temporary. So if I can show the way for someone, that could be only while this person will be able to reconnect to themselves, and then eventually I will not longer be of use. Or you will go also through many people taking pieces of what you need to become your own guidance, to have your own guidance system. So yeah, this is what Gimel is telling us, that the second week will be, or could be, a place, or a could give us a chance to to reconnect with our own guidance system or our inner guide, or to see that in other person. But at least you know, if that's the case, if you need the help of someone else outside of you, you know that that is always temporary. It's not. You don't have to substitute your guidance for someone else. Sometimes you need some clarity because you could be confused, or it could be very intense, or you might be going through a crisis. But it's always finding the source of clarity or inspiration inside yourself. And the third week of April 2020, Vav is coming up. Vav is also some card. It's a card that has been coming up for me personally and around me with the readings that I've been doing. And it's not surprising that Vav is coming. Vav is also the central column, so physically also is really like the bones of the vertebral column, but it's also about the column of energy, the vertical axis that unites us from the earth until the sky, let's say the heavens. And I think Vav in this case is talking about releasing the shock and the trauma that is stored along the column. So sometimes there's a shock, an emotional shock, an energetic shock that is stored there. That then, since this energy cannot flow up and down freely, the Kundalini energy cannot flow up and down freely, then we get a block through the nervous system on an organ, and then that organ kind of develop an illness. And in this moment, I think we are all touching into our own manifestations of the shocks that we have been receiving, whether it is historical in this lifetime, whether it is ancestral, whether it is also collective from what we might have recalled from the time of, it comes to my head now, from Atlantis or Lemuria or anything else like that. So something where there was this pandemic or a catastrophe, something that really was reviving the danger of wiping off a species or wiping off the human as we know it. And probably that's why it's becoming so it's really, how can I say, it's very intense this time, because sometimes I think what I've observed, you might agree or not with me, I don't care, sometimes the facts don't seem to align with the reaction of certain people. And I'm not judging the reactions, I'm just saying that if you observe that, you realize that probably what is behind that reaction is also this trauma, this shock, this energy that is being stored there for a long time, and now it has, I would say, the opportunity to actually be cleared out of the system. And I think that's what we are going to be seeing at Easter. This is going to start to, we've been clearing out, but we are going to see just a tiny bit of the resurrection kind of energy. The fourth week and final week of April 2020, it's great. It's the energy of Beth. And Beth in this reading, well, in general, is always has a meaning about a house, but more like the eternal home. So the eternal home where your soul rests. So basically you could see it as the source. And if you see, there's really this spiral of golden light coming out of it, which I think is beautiful. And it really gives you the feeling of coming home, wherever home is. And I think in this case can be also about structures, can be also talking about structures, but probably is telling us that by the end of this month we will be able to feel at home. We will be able to feel back at home with ourselves, in our hearts probably, to feel reconnected with also the cosmos. I think this is a very exciting time. It is really weird because I've been also scared. I've been also kind of fear. I felt fear with my body, especially my body. But I also have had these moments, and I think this is what science-based. By the end of April, we will be able to feel back at home like never before. So we will be able to reconnect to our true heritage. So we are not just this human that has to resolve problems in this perspective, in this 3D world, and we have to do it with the material that is in our hands, but we are really this spirit with this Christic light, this divine self that is participating in creation while it's creating and living a life. So we have to remember that, so that we can exit the survival mode that we have been on and since, I don't know, February probably. And maybe all the time without knowing, I think. Finally, I will take another card to say, how can we navigate this month? What is the advice of and the wisdom of these Hebrew letters for us in this month of April 2020? Okay. Okay, so this is also something that a card that came to the Spanish reading. In the Spanish reading, the card is Daleth, and Daleth is also called as the sorry, the star of truth. And if you see in the center, you can see there's a star, and there's also, I think there's a constellation of Orion or something, if I'm not mistaken. And this card is talking about, again, it's like reminding ourselves of who we really are, that we are not based in this human life alone, that we are not disconnected from the rest of the creation, humanity, but not only the earth, but really in a more cosmological and great way. We are not alone, we are not doing this alone, we are not doing this evolution, transition and consciousness growth by ourselves, and is not only benefiting ourselves, but is also benefiting also other universes and beings around the creation, let's say. And there's also something very important to remember with Daleth is coming to say, you have to see that you have to be aware of the opportunities presented by the circumstances. So, okay, we don't have what we had, we are not where we were, we are not being, we are not living as we used to. But these circumstances, as challenging and difficult as they might be, are presenting themselves with opportunities for many things, for growth, for compassion, for connection, for appreciation of what we have, the moment we have it, and for living really on the day, every day, because we have no option, let's say. So, yeah, that's invitation. That's invitation for the month of April, to really seize the opportunities that are being presented by the current circumstances, and do not probably dwell in what was and what had happened and what is not anymore. I mean, we had time for that, I think. At least the cards are showing that we are really kind of moving out of this rot of death and this death energy, and really moving into something new, starting something new. And again, the key for developing that sensitivity, that presence of what is that something new that is coming, even if you don't see it before your eyes, is going through your heart, is going through the heart chakra. Really investigate that part. Feel, spend time there, explore what is to be living, breathing in this area, letting unfold that energy, and what can you experience, and how can you connect with others, because that's for sure the certain thing about that is that you will be connecting with creation in a way probably that most of us are not used to that too, because we are immersed in the experience of the individual. And yeah, this is a good thing. Anyway, I hope you have a good month. I hope you're safe wherever you are, and I wish you all the best, and I see you around here very soon. Thank you. Bye bye.